When you think of Japan, it's common to imagine high technology, skyscrapers, anime, and top-class education. But the reality goes far beyond these cliches. This is a country where age-old traditions coexist with some of the world's most unusual practices. Did you know that adult adoption exists there, and that there is even a profession dedicated to pushing people on Tokyo's crowded trains? That's right, Japan is a place that surprises and defies any Western logic. And you think that's all? Get ready to experience and to discover that bathing sitting down, naked and next to a stranger, is normal there. Today, we're going to explore some of Japan's most unusual curiosities. Things that will make you rethink everything you think you know about the land of the rising sun. Number 1. Adult adoption. To start our list, let's talk about adoptions. And we're not talking about adopting orphaned children or lost youngsters. We're talking about adult men in their 20s and 30s who are adopted by business families. That's right. It may seem strange to those who don't know, but in Japan, the adoption of adults is common practice and has a very specific purpose. Almost 98% of adoptions in Japan involve these new heirs, who are often sons-in-law or trusted employees. This tradition began centuries ago, when it was crucial to ensure the continuity of family businesses. If a family had no male children to inherit the business, they would adopt a son-in-law or even a promising employee to keep the legacy intact. And this practice persists to this day. Giants such as Toyota and Suzuki still use this strategy to ensure that the helm remains in the hands of someone with close ties, even if it's not by blood. In other words, the adoption here is not just about affection, but a strategic move to preserve control and the future of the company in a country where, culturally, the role of women in command still faces many barriers. Number 2. People pushers. If you think that adopting adults is surprising enough, wait until you meet the Oshiyas. These professionals, also known as passenger pushers, have a rather unusual mission: to ensure that everyone is able to board Tokyo's overcrowded trains. Imagine the scene. The carriage is completely full, the door won't close, and time is running out. But then the Oshiyas arrive with their impeccable white gloves and a lot of patience to give that strategic push and ensure that everything runs like a Swiss watch. The profession arose in 1955, but it was in the 70s, during the Japanese economic boom, that these professionals began to have more work than ever. Number 3. Silence on the trains. While we're on the subject of trains, let's move on to a golden rule that every visitor should know: absolute silence. Yes, in Japan, public transportation is a veritable temple of tranquility. Forget loud conversations, boisterous laughter, or music playing without headphones. Even answering your cell phone is considered rude. If you need to talk, it's best to get out of the car and find a more private place. And respect doesn't stop there. No backpacks taking up seats or luggage strewn about getting in the way. Everything should be in its proper place. And if you're the type who loves a snack in the middle of the journey, you'll need to keep your hunger in check. Eating and drinking on trains is considered disrespectful and can cause dirt and annoyance to other passengers. But it's no wonder that trains and stations in Japan are known for their impeccable cleanliness. Each passenger is responsible for their own waste, taking it to a garbage can. This culture of respect and collaboration is part of everyday life in Japan and helps keep public transport organized, smooth, and incredibly efficient. It's a pleasure to ride the subway there. Number 4. Students who clean their own classrooms. And if you think that the organization and cleanliness of the Japanese is limited to the trains, you're wrong. In schools, there are no janitors or cleaners. That's right, it's the students themselves who do the cleaning. From an early age, children learn to clean their classrooms, corridors, and even the toilets. This practice, known as soji no jikan, is part of the school routine and has a clear objective: to teach responsibility, teamwork, and respect for the collective space. Think about it. The child who has just cleaned the bathroom at school, will they want to dirty it after all the work they've done? They'll certainly think twice before leaving dirt around. But soji isn't limited to schools. It's part of everyday Japanese life and can be seen everywhere. It's common to see residents and shopkeepers cleaning the sidewalks in front of their homes or stores first thing in the morning. This mentality of taking care of public space has even become famous at an international event. Japanese fans were seen picking up litter in the stands during the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Number 5. Adult toy machines. After talking about the impeccable organization of the Japanese, let's take a look at a more eccentric and unexpected side of the local culture: vending machines. And believe me, they're everywhere. Just to give you an idea, Japan has around 5 million of these machines dotted around the country. That's right, 5 million. And while most offer drinks, some sell things you wouldn't believe, toys for adults. Here, adult toys means cars, dolls, and even collectible miniatures. It may seem strange to those who aren't used to it, but these machines are a real hit. When they first appeared, they caused a stir, of course. Today, they are no longer so rare, and in many neighborhoods, you can find these machines side by side with others selling anime character keychains and other souvenirs. A curious and unique mix that only Japan has to offer. Number 7. Pigeon-toes. Following on from our list of peculiarities, we come to a curiosity that catches the eye: the famous pigeon-toed gait of Japanese women. This posture, known as uchimata, is characterized by the toes turned inwards, a way of walking that you'll often see on the streets of Japan. And the most interesting thing is that, while in many Western countries this type of posture would be cause for correction from childhood, in Japan it is seen as a symbol of grace and femininity. But this characteristic goes far beyond a simple question of style. It carries deep cultural and historical significance. For centuries, Japanese women have maintained this posture, especially when wearing kimonos. The uchimata not only facilitated movement with the traditional garment, but also prevented the fabric from fluttering awkwardly. It was, and still is, considered the height of elegance. But why do so many women walk like this? The reasons are varied. Some believe that it all starts with the way girls sit on the floor from a young age, in the traditional seiza position. This posture can, over time, cause changes in the bones of the legs and hips, resulting in walking with the feet turned inwards. Others say it's a genetic issue, while there are those who argue that this practice comes from the days when kimonos were worn daily and uchimata was essential for walking gracefully. In other words, there are many theories, but no one knows for sure why. Number 8. The more crooked, the better. Still talking about the physical peculiarities valued in Japan, let's now turn to a detail that goes against everything we know about beauty standards: the smile. While in the West, people spend fortunes on braces, whitening, and prostheses to achieve the perfect smile, in Japan, the motto is quite different: the crookeder, the better. There, the Yeba, which literally means layered tooth or double tooth, is considered incredibly cute. This term describes that peculiar appearance when the canines are slightly projected forward, creating a misaligned smile. And contrary to what you might think, many Japanese find this look charming, as it conveys an image of youthfulness and authenticity. But how did this unusual beauty pattern gain so much popularity? The answer may lie with Japanese celebrities who show off their uneven smiles with pride. For many people, the Yeba is synonymous with charm and naturalness, a contrast to the perfect and sometimes artificial smile sought in other parts of the world. And the trend is so strong that nowadays many women, and even some men, go to the dentist not to correct their teeth, but to make them purposely crooked. That's right, there are specific aesthetic procedures for those who want to achieve the famous Yeba smile. In other words, while in many places the aim is to have a perfectly aligned white smile, in Japan, the fashion is just the opposite. The more irregular, the cuter and more attractive. Number 9. A slipper for everything. If you've ever watched a Japanese movie or series, you may have noticed that before entering the house, shoes are always removed. This is part of a cultural tradition that aims to keep the environment clean and free of impurities brought in from the street. But this practice goes far beyond simply changing shoes. When you visit a friend's house in Japan, you'll be greeted with a pair of slippers, especially for use in the house. So far, nothing too surprising. However, the curious detail that many people don't know is that if you need to go to the bathroom, you'll need to change into a specific pair of slippers that are kept at the entrance to the bathroom. That's right, there's a slipper just for that area of the house. And the reason is simple. For the Japanese, the bathroom is considered an unclean area. So, to prevent this impurity from spreading to the rest of the house, separate slippers are used just for this purpose. It's a way of maintaining hygiene and showing respect for the other areas of the home. But be careful. Remember to change your slippers when you leave the bathroom. Wearing your bathroom slippers into the living room is considered sacrilegious by Japanese hygiene standards and can cause great embarrassment, as well as you never receiving any social invitations in the house again. Number 11. Collective public baths. And to close our list of curiosities on a high note, how would you feel about taking a bath sitting down, completely naked and next to a stranger? Before you think that this is something out of this world, let me tell you about the famous onsen and sento, a tradition that goes far beyond simple hygiene and is almost sacred in Japan. The onsen are public baths fed by natural hot springs. Just imagine, you relaxing in a pool of warm water, surrounded by mountains, maybe even snow falling around you, while all the tension in your body goes away. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? And in Japan, that dream is reality. Now, if you're not near a hot spring, sento is a great alternative. Although they don't have volcanic waters, these urban public baths use artificially heated water and offer the same ritual of purification and relaxation. Perfect for those who live in big cities or don't have a bathroom at home. Similar to the thermal baths, the sento have shower areas where you need to wash thoroughly before entering the pools. And there's one more thing. It doesn't matter if you're in one or the other. Everyone is naked. And oddly enough, nobody bothers. No one stares, no one judges. Everyone is there for the same reason, to relax and renew their energy. And look how curious it is. They say it's one of the few places where the Japanese really disconnect from work and everyday obligations. And so we come to the end of our journey through Japan. I hope you've enjoyed exploring these curiosities about such a fascinating and contrasting country. Now we want to know, which curiosity surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you like discovering unusual places and incredible cultures, don't forget to subscribe to the channel activate the bell and follow our next adventures around this bello mundo. To those of you who have watched this far, thank you very much and see you next time.